parlays and player props for week 1 of the NFL season. This is the video that gets people up in the morning. My name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Today, here's the schedule. We're going to talk about 2 player props, take an intermission for a moneyline parlay, 2 more player props, and anytime touchdown parlay. We will end with the first touchdown score at plus 700 value. It's an action-packed episode. Let's hop right in. Last year, we crushed the sports books on player props. We were 96-54, 64% win rate, up 29.16 units. Let's do even better this year. I do want to note, if you're curious who I like on spread picks, plus an additional player prop, go check out our NFL Week 1 Best Bets video. The thumbnail looks exactly like this one. Go check it out. It's on the channel. Also, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button too. The NFL is back. If you wanted a sign-up link to PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, BetMGM, all that stuff is detailed in the description. Go check it out. Take advantage of those links and sign-up bonuses while you can. Like, you can take advantage of this Tom Brady free square, over 0.5 passing yards on PrizePicks. Plus, if you sign up using our code COS, you get a 100% deposit match. But that's not why we're here. We're here to dive into some player props, and we're talking with this first one. Christian McCaffrey, I'm taking his over 45.5 receiving yards, minus 114 on FanDuel Sportsbook. Now, I'd probably play this up to about 50.5 yards if the line does go up. Now, let's talk about McCaffrey. Now, McCaffrey enters the season arguably in the best shape of his life, according to head coach Matt Rule. Now, I do want to note, on Thursday, something did pop up on the injury report about some shin thing. He was a full participant. I'm not worried about that at all. McCaffrey has had some injuries the past couple seasons, but that's not what we're worried about. We're not betting on him to get injured this year. We're just betting on him to stay healthy for just one game, and the Panthers are going to try to make that their top priority. They signed Deontay Foreman. They still have Chuba Hubbard. I think they're going to try to use those guys in the run game, let McCaffrey do best, which is catching passes. Now, look, CMC averaged 52 receiving yards per game in his career. 58 games played, over 50 yards receiving per game. And last year, in his second year under Matt Rule, CMC played in 7 games, and he had to hit this over 46.5 receiving yards in 5 of 7 games last year. 2 games, he missed this over. He got injured. We can't control that. If he gets injured, then so be it. His receptions line is set at 4.5, and if you want to take the over in that, it's juice. It's like minus 170 on a lot of sports books. In CMC's last 25 games with 4 or more receptions, he's hit this over in 20 of those 25 games. So even if he gets 5, 6, 7 receptions today, he has even a better chance. Look, this offensive line, it's not going to be the strength of the Panthers. I anticipate Matt Rule wants Baker Mayfield to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and I anticipate that going to guys like CMC. They don't have a lot of weapons out there besides really DJ Moore. I think Christian McCaffrey has a big week, and we're taking his over 45.5 receiving yards. That's my first player prop of this video. The next one, let's move to a star-studded QB. Lamar Jackson, we're taking his over 1.5 passing touchdowns, plus 105 on PointsBet. Now, before you ask, I know there is rushing touchdowns, and if he gets a bunch of those, this won't hit. But I think he gets the passing touchdowns. Now, last year, if you took this identical bet over 1.5 passing TDs, yeah, you lost the shirt off your back. Lamar Jackson only threw for 2 or more touchdowns in 2 of his 12 games. But I think he bounces back. You look at the previous seasons. In 2019, he went 9 for 15 hitting this line. That was his first year starting at QB. In 2020, he went 10 for 16. So the fact that he did so poorly last year, I think a little bit of a regression is going to come back to what he did in the previous years. We're getting plus money on this. Let's talk about this. It is assumed, as of right now, as I'm recording this, Lamar Jackson has not signed a huge contract extension. His deadline supposedly was Friday. So if he doesn't get that, he's got to play for a contract now, or else he's going to be on the franchise tag next year. And look at it. The matchup is as good as it can get. It's the New York Jets. And you see the Jets pennant behind me. I know this secondary, and it's very young, not going to be very good. They're going to rely on their number 1 cornerback, their number 1 draft pick, Sauce Gardner, to hold it down. And he's a number 1 corner. He'll make some mistakes, although I do expect him to be pretty good. And while Sauce might be good, the rest of them will not be very good. 17 of the last 25 quarterbacks to face the New York Jets have thrown for 2+ touchdowns. The 8 guys that didn't get it done, look at this list. Cam Newton, Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Taysom Hill, Teddy Bridgewater, Ryan Tannehill, and Sam Darnold are the only QBs in the last 25 to not throw for 2 or more touchdowns against the Jets. What does Lamar Jackson have in common with all of those guys? He's much better than all of them, and while he might run in a touchdown or 2, I expect Robert Saleh and the Jets front 7 to sell out to stop Lamar Jackson in the run, make Lamar Jackson throw the ball, and I think he'll be able to do that with success against the Jets secondary. We're not asking for 6 touchdowns today. We're asking for 2 passing touchdowns on Sunday. Lamar Jackson certainly capable of doing that, plus 105. Absolutely sign me up for the former MVP to get back into a groove in week 1 where we've seen him dominate in years past. Let's take a little bit of the intermission because it's moneyline parlay time. Everyone's going to be cooking their favorite moneyline parlays up on Sunday, and here's the ones I'm going with. I'm going with these 4 teams to catch a win. Packers, 49ers, Saints, and Eagles. Take a quick second on each of them. Packers are taking the Vikings. Look, this is actually a pretty close spread, and normally the Vikings actually play the Packers pretty tough. I'm just going to trust Aaron Rodgers, and that team has a little bit more firepower, a little bit more, oomph in their step to get this win in week 1. I think they get it done. 49ers versus Bears. Trey Lance might have some growing pains, but so will Justin Fields in his second year starting. I think the 49ers are a more all-around better team. I think they get that done. Saints versus Falcons. Jameis Winston, I know it's hard to trust him, but I don't really trust this Falcons team to be all that good. Saints normally pretty good. They have a great defense that can carry them to victory. And the final leg, Eagles versus Lions. If you want to check out that spread pick video, you might know I like the Eagles minus the 3.5. I think they can get this win on the road in Detroit. I think they can do that. Plus 435 value. Sign me up. I'll be riding with those 4 teams to all get a win. If you want to throw in some more teams, go for it. Those are my 4 teams I'm counting on. Now let's go on to some more player props. We got 2 more. Another plus value one coming right up. Adam Thielen taking his over 4.5 receptions. Plus 110 on BetMGM. So a little bit better value than Lamar Jackson. He's obviously a Minnesota Vikings receiver. The 10-year Minnesota veteran wide receiver has a new head coach, Kevin O'Connell. Don't worry why I have his jersey. This is from his time as an NFL QB with the Jets. If Adam Thielen, you don't throw it to Adam Thielen, I'm going to burn the jersey. But let's talk about Thielen a little bit more because everyone's really high on this Vikings offense. And if you just have watched any fantasy show, any betting show, they've been salivating over Justin Jefferson. Now I take him the number 1 wide receiver off the board, all this and that. Look, I think a lot of people are forgetting that Adam Thielen is kind of Kirk Cousins' security blanket. That's what he's been ever since Kirk Cousins went to Minnesota. I think that's what we will continue to see. I mean, there's a reason Thielen had 10 touchdowns in only 13 games played last year. Now, let's talk about last year. Thielen hit over 4.5 receptions, so 5+ receptions in 8 of the first 11 games of the season. I'm not going to count the 12th game because he got injured in that one. He returned around week 15, got injured in that game, re-injured. I'm not going to count those 2 games. So 8 for 11, pretty good. He's also going to play pretty well versus the Packers, the division rival. In his last 10 games versus the Green Bay Packers, he's averaged 6.5 receptions per game, hit the over 7 of those 10 games. I expect Justin Jefferson to get his. He'll do his own thing, get how many receptions and yards he gets. But I also expect the Packers to game plan a lot more for Justin Jefferson than they will for a guy like Adam Thielen. The Packers are going to be a good defense this year. They're going to try as hard as they can to throw a lot of different coverages at Justin Jefferson. Anticipate Kirk Cousins goes the other way, looks for Adam Thielen, his security blanket. Kirk Cousins passing attempt line set at 36.5. There should be a lot of passes this game. Should be slinging the ball, and I think a lot of them will go to Adam Thielen, who only averaged 10.8 yards per catch last year, which is his lowest in his career. We're not betting on yards in this one. We're betting on receptions. Give me plus 110, over 4.5 receptions. I'm all in on Adam Thielen. Now, my final player prop of the week for this one, we'll have a video for Monday Night Football posted late Sunday night. Travis Etienne Jr., over 20.5 receiving yards, minus 114 on FanDuel. Now, 2 things. 1 of 2 things can happen in this game. Number 1, this is the lowest line we see for Etienne, and he absolutely blows this out of the water. Number 2, I might have to wear a clown nose because he absolutely doesn't even get close to this. But I think we're going to be on number 1 because let's talk about Etienne. He missed all of last year, I believe, with the Lisfranc injury. Missed all of last year, his rookie season when he was drafted with Trevor Lawrence. And it appears, though, he's 100% ready to go. Number 1 running back on their depth chart. The guy right behind him, James Robinson, tore his Achilles late in December. And while people are saying James Robinson is back, he's rarely practiced at 100%. So the fact that they might just throw him out there in week 1 and just say, James Robinson show, Travis Etienne ride the bench, I don't see that happening. Let's talk about the new head coach, Doug Peterson, who took the year off after being let go by the Eagles. He's going to make this offense better than Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer's and the Jags were absolutely a mess last year. And you look at Peterson, he was known for targeting running backs. You look at Miles Sanders, who spent 2 years on that system from 2019 and 2020. He averaged 4.1 targets per game. I think he had over 80 catches during those 2 seasons, which were Peterson's final 2 seasons with the Eagles. And Etienne, was he known for being a great elite pass catcher in college, where he went to Clemson. He caught 85 passes over his final 2 collegiate years. And all of them came from, or I think at least most of them came from his quarterback now, Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, they both got drafted. Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, both drafted by the Jags out of Clemson last year. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence played. Travis Etienne sat the year out. Now, we could talk about the Jags. They don't have a lot of really other weapons. They traded Laviska Shenault. So I think Travis Etienne will be that short-range guy that they're just dumping off passes to. And he can take a 2-yard catch for 25 yards. That's not outside the realm of possibility for a guy like Etienne and his capability. We're asking for 22 receiving yards, 21. We're asking for 22 receiving yards from a guy who could be on the field for 60% of the snaps. If the Jags do fall behind in this game, they'll be throwing it even more. Travis Etienne will be on the field even more. All it takes is 1 reception. This guy could take it 25 yards. Cash this bet for us. 21 receiving yards, not too much. That's why he's my final player prop of the week. Travis Etienne, over 20.5 receiving yards, minus 114 on FanDuel. Now it's time. Some people have been waiting for this. Anytime touchdown parlay. We need these 4 players to all get into the end zone. If they don't do that, then this parlay loses. Let's talk about these 4 guys, all running backs. Jonathan Taylor, Austin Eckler, great first name, Aaron Jones, and Derrick Henry. All of them to score a touchdown, plus 525 on FanDuel Sportsbook. Now let's talk about Taylor first. Taking on the Texans, his rushing yards is set at like 99.5. Expecting the big game, should be able to do it against that division rival. Look, they're going to rely on Jonathan Taylor a lot, and when they get close to the red zone, you best believe they're giving it to JT. Let's talk about Austin Eckler. He absolutely destroyed the Raiders last year. I believe he had 2 touchdowns in both their games. They like to use him at that goal line. He can also receive and rush one in. This is Austin Eckler. It's his show. It's week 1. Should be fully healthy. Should be able to get into the end zone too. Let's talk about Aaron Jones versus the Vikings. Now, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, a lot of people have talked about both these two guys. I think they both have good season longs for both fantasy football and betting purposes. Aaron Jones has always been a guy that has a knack for the end zone. Against the Vikings, I think they can get it done. He can, like Austin Eckler, he can rush it in. He can also receive it in. He can, look, I think Aaron Jones can get into the end zone. And finally, King Henry. Just getting a touchdown against the Giants. Like, this is King Henry. It's week 1. You best believe they're giving him the ball and they're letting him pound it in. Giants won't have much to stop. Their defensive line shouldn't be all that good this year, especially because they will be missing probably their first-round pick, Kayvon Thibodeau, and they let go of their leading tackler last year, Blake Martinez. I think all these guys can get into the end zone. Now, to finish off this video, got to do a first touchdown score, and of course we're going to Sunday Night Football. I don't have any skin in this game, so I'm going to get some skin in this game, and I'm going with Mike Evans to score the first touchdown in this Bucks versus Cowboys game on Sunday Night Football. Now, yes, this is a little chalky. You could go for some other guys. I looked at Julio Jones, but I think the value is here on Mike Evans, the guy that Tom Brady's always looking for, and no reason you wouldn't be. The guy's like 6'4", 6'5". He's probably going to have Trayvon Diggs on him, and no offense to Trayvon Diggs. Diggs is either an interception or you're getting a free catch, and I think Evans can best him in the red zone. Plus, you know, Brady's going to be targeting Mike Evans left and right. So I think Mike Evans can get into that first touchdown. If he's not the first touchdown scorer, you can go for an anytime touchdown, but I like the first touchdown score, plus 700 value. I think he's got a good chance of getting us into the end zone and cashing us out, but that's going to do it. Those are the 4 player props, a money line parlay, a touchdown parlay, and a first touchdown score. I appreciate you tuning in to the first edition of Parlays and Player Props for week 1 of the NFL season. This video, every single Friday morning, it will be live, so definitely come check it out. We appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. If you want to see my NFL week 1 best bets, which includes 3 spread picks plus another player prop, just click this video on the screen. You definitely want to check it out. We appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. My name is Austin for calling our shot. Let's have a big week 1, a big NFL season. Let's absolutely crush these sports books. Just a reminder about those sportsbook sign-up bonuses, another way to support the channel. It's Austin, and I'm signing out. Peace.